So I'm a used car dealer and I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. And in this video, I'm going to tell you something that you've never heard from any other car dealer ever. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I paid for my cars, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to make on them. And right now I'm buying as many cars as I can. Before we get into that, I want to talk about what's going on in the car market, where I think it's going, and what I'm doing to prepare for it. Because right now we're entering into a very, very interesting time, something that we haven't seen in over 4 years now. And that's a situation where we're having supply build back up, even on the used car side of things, and we're having prices drop in a major way, and we're going to get back to regular seasonality of what the car market typically looks like. And what do I mean by seasonality? Well, right now, towards the end of the year, beginning of the next year, what happens? Well, what typically would happen before all this craziness and inflation of car prices, what would happen was, okay, car dealers would basically stop buying, and prices on the wholesale level would drop to I would say alarming rate. It was normal, so they would drop to the lowest level that they would be all year round. And what I'm seeing right now is exactly that. And that makes me hopeful. That makes me hopeful for the upcoming years, that we're going to now see a normalcy return to the car market. See, over the last 3-4 years, there has been no supply in the car market. So you look, look all behind me right here. I mean, all these cars, these are stuff that I've recently bought. Right now I have, I think, 130, 140 cars, and you can't see them all here because I can't fit them all here. We've got a storage lot too that we put a lot of our cars on, and I think we've got maybe about 30 over there right now, and we've got more cars being transported. And this is not something that I've been able to do in the last 3 or 4 years. See, this is right now at this time of year, the most cars that I've ever had. And why am I buying so many cars when the market's so weak right now? Even us, we sell cars that are $5,000 and under. We're having a hard time still selling our cars right now. So why am I buying? It seems like that would be the opposite of what you would want to do. Well, what's happening right now in this car market is that 2 months from now, what am I expecting? I'm expecting people to get tax refund checks back, and they're going to come and they're going to buy all the cars that I have on my lot. This happens even over the last 3 or 4 years. It's the same thing that's happened, but we just haven't had supply. So prices have been so elevated, I haven't been able to load up because dealers would be buying this whole time. But now the spigot's turned off, and these dealers that were buying, now they're not buying anymore. So prices at auction are getting to a place where I can actually buy cars again. So this is why you see me stepping in right now, and I'm trying to load up and have as many cars as I can, because I know in a very short amount of time, I'm going to be able to sell everything I have. But because I'm able to do this, what does this tell me? Well, this tells me that a lot of dealers right now, they aren't able to do the same thing that I'm doing, so they are hurting right now. And typically what I can see from at least my car dealership, with me selling cars that are $5,000 and under, and me paying cash for my cars, and not really having a floor plan that's going to tap me out if I get overloaded with vehicles, what that tells me is that the car market, car dealers in general, they're hurting really, really bad right now when they can't do the same thing as me, going in and buying and loading up cars, because they're probably already loaded up on inventory that they can't sell. I know that because I have inventory right now that I can't sell. So if that $5,000 and under range is having a hard time right now, I know the next tier up is having a really hard time, and then your upper tier of vehicles is going to have an extreme amount of a hard time, not only being able to just move cars because people don't have money, but because people aren't able to get loans for a lot of these vehicles. We have the highest level of defaults that are going on right now in the car market, and we also have credit card delinquencies that are extremely high right now. So that tells me that in the marketplace right now, people don't have money, they've overextended their credit, and now they can't buy goods. They can't buy cars because they just can't get loans for them. All right, so this is a car that we just bought, and I wanted to point this out because these cars are always funny to me. I hate these things. These are some of the ugliest cars. I will throw this in like with a PT Cruiser. They're just, it seems like they're such a niche kind of car. It's either you absolutely love them or you hate them, and my papers are flying, so let me grab those. So you have a particular customer that you're going to sell this to, but the customer pool of who could actually buy these things is very, very small. And typically, I'm not going to buy stuff like this because the pool of customer is so small. But the pool of customer that's going to buy this car buys this car. So I mean, I can kind of talk to that a little bit. Whereas you have like a sports car or something that okay, maybe the pool of customer is very, very small, but there are a lot of sports cars out there. With an HHR or a PT Cruiser, there's not a lot of these things out there, and especially not for like under $5,000, and in this particular case, like $3,000 car. So I'll buy these kind of cars just because they move quickly, and I never would have guessed that someone would want anything like this, but we sell them, and we sell them pretty quickly. This one's got 142,000 miles. It's a 2006. We paid $1,800 for this car, and we'll end up selling it for $3,000, and it'll sell pretty quickly because there's like 3 people in the area that are looking for one, and they're looking for one for $3,000 right now, and all 3 of them will come and fight us for it as soon as we post it. All right, so I want to show you something real quick. This is our war board. The more tabs, which correlates to vehicles on this, and there's Alex right there, on this board, my stress goes up if there are more, because that means that there are more things that need to be fixed, and the more that I have to kind of ride Alex to get something done.
Imagine my stress level.
Yeah, imagine Alex's stress level. But anyway, so right now when we're loading up for tax time, we have to account for all of these vehicles that we're moving all across just our pipeline. So we have cars that are being transported all the way over to, we have drive cycles, cars that need to be fixed. Big section. Hate having cars in this section. We have cars that are set to be cleaned. We have cars that are sitting at the inspection station now waiting to be inspected. But here's the biggie right here. See this right here? It says storage. Right now, we have like 130, 140 cars, and we can't keep that many on my lot. You've seen me walking my lot out there, and I can only keep, what, 80, 90 cars, and if I'm getting up to 90 cars, it's not comfortable. We're trying to figure out places to park. We have maybe 4 or 5 customer parking spots at that point, and on a Saturday when we get really busy, there's some Saturdays we can sell like 10 cars. So in those cases, we can have 6, 7, 8 customers on the lot at a time, and customers at that point just park in front of our other cars. I mean, I can't really blame them because I just don't have the space for them, so it's just a mess. And so because of that, we have to take a lot of cars to our storage lot, and that's going to reduce some of the sales that we can have right now because these cars are just not available for people to buy. Just because they can't fit on the lot, and this is a constraint that I have here at my lot because I can't have these cars on display for sale, can't have them on the website because there's just no way for us to be able, if a customer wants to see the car, go get it and bring it over here. Because what happens, we tried to do that once, and I'll tell you what happened. Well, we had a customer that would want to see a car that was on our storage lot, so we go pick it up for them, bring it back, and they would look at it like, no, I'm not quite sure about this. There's another one out on your storage lot too that we want to see. So we'd run that car back, get the other one, and be like, you know what? And it's just a massive waste of time. So cars that we put on our storage lot, we don't even offer them for sale, and it's kind of like, okay, if we sell 3 cars off our lot, when we get busy, we can go get 3 cars and bring them in, put them in their place. But right now is very hectic for us as we're loading up for tax time because it's just a lot of moving pieces, a lot of stuff that we have getting ready, a lot of stress on my part, a lot of stress on Alex's part, because right now it's not like we're slowing down how many cars we're bringing in. We're still trying to buy everything that we can, and that goal that I set of like 150-ish cars for tax time, we're going to blow that out of the water. It's a good thing because we'll sell every single car that I have right when people get their tax refunds back. So I hate this now. I'm going to love it in about 2 to 3 months' time. And while I'm here making a video, my son is here playing Ninja Turtles. Say hey to the people.
Hi.
There we go. He is 6, and he is beating some Foot Clan butt right now. So here's another one that I think fell through the cracks, and I use the term fall through the cracks a lot because we go and check a ton of cars at auction, and if there's one that maybe some dealers just miss, well, I want us to be the ones that are able to come in and steal this car. And this is, I think, one of them. And it's refreshing to be able to even use that term fall through the cracks because I haven't been able to use it over the last 3 or 4 years because there's so many dealers at auctions fighting for so few vehicles that there's nothing that gets missed. And now cars are getting missed, and that's what I like to see. This right here, we paid $2,100 for a 2011 Honda Odyssey. This is a van we wouldn't even look at. I mean, I know that it seems like I'm saying that a lot, but it's just it's showing where the car market is at right now and where I think it's going, because stuff like this is going to be frequent now that we're going to be able to buy. We're going to be able to check out so many more cars at auction because we're going to be able to come in and snatch and steal these cars just like this. This is a car that was $4,000, $4,500 on the wholesale level just 12 months ago. Now it's $2,100. We're able to buy it. I can get it ready, sell it for $3,500. So I can sell it now for cheaper than what you would have to pay on a wholesale level as a dealer 6 months ago for this van. I can sell it to a consumer for less than a wholesale price 6 months ago. That blows me away that I'm able to do that now, and it makes me very, very happy. But 2011 Honda Odyssey, I paid $2,100 for it. Going to be able to sell it for $3,500. And I want to point out something like this. You see how this is all faded or whatever. We got some that could possibly be cleaned up, but it's got a little bit of hail damage. I don't know if you can see the dent right there. All that stuff doesn't bother me in the slightest. Small cosmetic stuff. We buy this kind of stuff all the time. Busted paint is one of my favorite things to buy because it's not going to affect how the car actually drives. And what I'm selling to a lot of consumers, they just need a point A to point B car. They don't care in a lot of cases what it looks like. They need a car that's safe. They need a car that's reliable, and they need a car that's going to last them until they can get to their next financial situation in life. And that's what I'm trying to provide here. And because I'm trying to provide that, I love stuff like this where I can go and buy busted paint, faded stuff, get it for really, really, really cheap, and then be able to sell it to my consumer for really, really, really cheap. Just so this is not a forever car. Somebody's not going to buy this and expect to get 5-7 years out of this car. They're expecting it to get them to work so they can get to the next place in their life. That's what I want to provide for my consumer, and this is why I can walk around my lot and I know I see it in my comments. Well, who's going to buy that car with busted paint and it looks like it's terrible? Well, that car's $2,500, and you know what? There are people lining out the door at my car dealership to buy stuff like that because that's the situation that they're in right now. I know, I hear you out there. I'm very happy that you're in the position that you're in to be so picky that you can care that your car looks absolutely perfect. There are people in this world right now that are not as fortunate as you, and they need a $2,500 beater. They needed to get them to work. They needed to get their kids to school until they can save up to be able to buy that next car, till they can step up to their next purchase. They need that stopgap. And in a lot of cases, that's what we provide for our customers. And that is a underserved portion of the car market right now, and consumers that are looking for that point A to point B car just to get to work, just to get to their next stage in life. There are not a lot of cars out there. There are not a lot of dealers that do the kind of stuff that we do, and it's because a lot of dealers, they're going to look at this, they're going to look at that grill right there, and they're going to turn their nose up at it because they don't want to sell a $2,500 car. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to sell $2,500 cars, and I feel like I'm doing this to help people. Don't get me wrong, I'm still making money while doing it, but if I can do something that helps somebody and I can make money while doing it, that's a dream come true for me. All right, so let me show you something right here. You can see some of the categories that we look at when I'm getting like an inventory sheet. Date bought, age is 4 days. That's very important. I want to show you that in just a minute, or talk to you about that in just a minute. But this is a 2007 Pontiac G6. Mileage on it's 123. We paid $1,500 for it. And a car like that hopefully won't have too much in it to actually fix it, but We're hoping to be able to sell it for like $2,500, $3,000 is about the range that we're going to put on it. If it comes in here, we don't have to do anything to it. Probably somewhere closer to that $25,000 to $3,000 range. And if we have to put $300, $400, $500 in it, then we'll up our price. But what I wanted to point out about this is age. Age is something that we pay a lot of attention to. Really our time starts ticking whenever we post a car. And this is something that I have my sales manager watch very, very closely because that's how we know where the market's going on a particular car, how we know how to price our car, how to lower our prices. And a lot of dealers, they won't move their prices very quickly, but we are on top of that. And my general rule is, if we have a car sitting out there that's been sitting out there for 14 days, we haven't got a lot of looks on it, we haven't had any test drives, we don't have a lot of attention, we haven't sold it, then we're going to lower that car by $500. So you roll another 14 days, we're dropping it again by $500. So at that point, I mean, we typically make $1,000, $1,200 per car. So if we keep a car 30 plus days, in a lot of cases, we're getting close to where we're just trying to move the car, just trying to get that stale inventory out, break even on it, move it on to the next thing. If we keep a car longer than 30 days, in some cases, we're going to lose $100, $200, $300 on a car because we're knocking it down again at that like 45-day mark or a little bit after that. So it's something very important that we really pay a lot of attention to, and I think that a lot of other dealers should do the same kind of thing, because then you just don't get stuck in cars. And I understand that a lot of dealers can't operate the way I do because we roll volume, and they can't just drop their prices every 2 weeks because they're not pumping out 60, 70, 80 cars in a month. And they're on floor plans too, and we pay cash for our cars, so it allows us to be very fluid with our pricing and to move pricing just because we can go ahead and replace it very, very quickly. But that's something that is probably one of the most important things to us, and I think why we are so successful is because when we see that a car's not moving, either we bought an undesirable car, we paid too much for it, or we're pricing it too much. Any one of those three things, the market will tell us, and they'll tell us very quickly, because that car just won't get sold. So we need to move with the market, and that means lowering our prices very quickly. All right, here's one I can point out and talk about a little bit. It's a 2013 Kia Optima. It's got 170,000 miles, and I paid $2,300 for it. So the reason I want to point something like this out is typically we're not going to be able to buy stuff that's like 2011 and newer to be able to fit into my price point of that $5,000 and under. But we're getting more and more and more of these 2011, 2012, 2013, even up to like 2016 cars, where we can buy them cheap enough to be able to sell them to our customer. But this one right here, we paid $2,300 for it. You saw the miles, and it's going to be right around that $3,500 to $4,000 price point, depending on what we have to do to it. But it's just very interesting to see something like this, because even 6 months ago, I would not have been able to even, we wouldn't even look at this car, because we would know, okay, it's going to go for $4,000, maybe even $4,500. We're not going to be able to touch it, because if we have to buy it for that much, obviously we're not going to be able to sell it and make money at that $5,000 and under price point, and that's where we want to be. So it's very telling, I think, on the market that stuff like this is now falling through the cracks, and we're able to buy it and get it to our customer for that $5,000 and under. And we're seeing more and more and more of this, and this is why, I mean, look around me, I'm able to buy more vehicles. And it's not necessarily that there are more cars coming to auction. I would even argue that maybe there's even a tick less that's coming to auction, because these new car dealers are having a harder time actually moving their vehicles right now. So the trade-ins that they get, that's how I get my cars. You go trade in a used car for a brand new car at a franchise dealer. They don't want it on their lot, so they send it to auctions, and that's how I bid on my cars and get my cars and get them here. But it's just, I think, very telling on the market that we can have just the same, or maybe a little bit less, fewer cars that are coming to the auction, but the prices have come down so much that I have really opened the amount of vehicles that we can buy now. So even though there are fewer cars coming to auction, the amount of cars that are accessible to us at our range has greatly increased. And that's something that's very, very good for us. And it's like a whole new supply chain has opened for us just because the prices have come down on a car like this, like $1,000, $1,500, even almost $2,000 on the wholesale level. I mean, that's a massive, massive dip in price. We're talking about a car that was like $4,000, $4,500 to go down to where I can buy it for $2,300. That's almost half of what it was just 12 months ago. That's a good thing for the car market, as long as dealers will move with the market. We're going to move with the market, so hopefully others are doing the same. So this video has been a little bit different than what I typically do. So if you like actually seeing stuff at our dealership lot and seeing some of the prices I'm paying for cars, put it down in the comments and make sure you subscribed and hit your notification stuff. The more likes, subscribes, comments I see about this particular video, then I'll do more stuff like this. I know typically I'm just at dealerships yelling about car prices being high and just giving you car market updates and the news that's coming in, what CEOs leaving this week, what mergers happening this week, who went bankrupt as far as across the dealership spots. Just let me know if you like more content like this. I enjoy doing it. It's easy. I'm walking around my lot where my cars are. So let me know.